trip.
What is that? A dietary
When I started walking dog in Chicago last night, figuring out how to make one was pretty hard on the old dog.
Yeah, skip the commercial.
Also gotta show love to the homie Marcel P. Black. When you were traveling through, I got the t-shirt. Support artists. Make sure you got your merch when you're traveling.
Yes, sir. Flex Mathews don't got no merch.
Get some merch, bro.
Yes, it's there. It's there. The support is there. The merch there. The support is there. Let me take this time to introduce myself with a little rhyme. Flex Mathews with something off of the mind. Catch me in Uptown riding on the green line. Hello people, hello viewers. I be on point like a skewer, but funky like manure. Your girl say, hello, I just waved like I knew her, but I didn't know her. It's okay, I keep it super. Like Mario, but rough lines with Barrio. I don't want to say Barrio or Atari though, but I already said that, so I'm like, sorry yo, it's okay, I can hit her with a unique way to split words. Flex Mathews might be wet like Squidwards. I might spit a couple verbs off of these nerves and nerds. I used to eat nerds and graduated to nerd ropes. They were so delicious, but bad for your throat, bad for your body, so I don't eat them no more. Pass it to my man for sure.
Chris Carr bars without sipping a drink. What'd you think, what you thought? Some things can't be felt, can't be taught. Is versus should equals ought, fraud. At the precipice of delicate ties that bind, I ride the line to find design divine. I'm in a place just to interface, interrace, interfaith. Now take a break on some, need some time. Old school, Golden Axe and Guggenheim Museum. Try to chart it, nah, I'm isolated like the Antarctic and the Arctic. Other rappers lethargic while I came through the Red and Dead Sea parted. Now try to market it, put my heart up on a plate and then I bartered it.
And shared it with the people and shared it with the coast. He said he bartered it, so maybe we can trade. Could it be fair or could it be unfair? All love and war, so I might take a breath, never breathe, watch a step, no tricks up my sleeve. Don't run from the ref, just stand and see what it be. Don't know what's next, but it might be me or a breeze. Coasting, saying hello to everybody in DC and Oakland and everyone in Okinawa. You know me, Flex Mathews takes showers, rarely. Girls who don't pay their bills scare me. I'm slightly hairy. I eat a lot of strawberries and not cherries. Mo Beats and Stove. Welcome, how y'all doing? Flex Mathews, it's my man. Introduce yourself.
What up? Stonehenge Parnhashnikowski, say it like you spell it, Parnhashnikowski.
We're just freestyling, gonna have some conversation, have some talks, but we just vibing right now. So we just vibing. You can call me like Verizon, or see me roaring like a lion. City of the diamond, could it cut through the glass or cut through the grass? Rappers might be trash, I don't know, but either way we can shake hands. I know people who ain't that nice, but we still friends. I try to tell them they should chill, cause life could be better if you were just a little nicer and didn't talk like your mouth was connected to a diaper. Life is what you make it. You could be happy or you could be naked. You could be full of the fake-ish, didn't wanna cuss. Try to keep it clean cause my mom might tune in and she don't wanna see me wilding out and saying crazy words absurd with verbs, you know me. Trying to keep it classy. That's Flex Mathews be the name that they say. They then be the name that they don't know. That's on my birth certificate for show. That's what the police call me if they wanna get close. I might talk in German to say I don't know you, but that's not German, that's English, so that really didn't make much sense though.
Dollars, cents, pence, not mics, but mics held in a clinch, in a fist. He's intrepid in the mist, lost in the abyss, that's as deep as it gets. Black fist activists after this. Rappers don't know if they're passionate. Might have lost it. Look at that line, I might have crossed it. With the crosshair, they get frostbit. He's frozen, golden, rolling in the body of a horse like Trojan. Told him I'm my own opponent. No, they can't hold him or scold him. Use him like origami and I might fold them. While I'm wearing old Timbs, chilling with my close friends and go through like a cold wind. Old school like fallopians. I'm in DC, shout to ETO. Now you know where I go again. I'll still say it, shout to Ethiopians. That's right, head is not rap tight. Demon bagpipes.
Nice, nice. These beats are dope. What is this?
Sometimes the internet's cool, you know?
Sometimes the internet's cool.
It's a 1 hour rare underground soul hip hop instrumentals.
Oh, I like that. I like that. So these are like this, just like unknown producers or
Just straight instrumentals, like one song.
nice. Welcome to Show It Says Flex. Peace to everybody, all the 14 viewers in there. Somebody said, go rob guys. No, we're not doing that. But I say hi David, hi Jalen, Krabby Players. I don't know. Krabby Players said we should rob people. Nah, bro, we're not doing that. There's enough record labels doing that already though. So Chris,
Yes,
question
sir.
for you.
Yes.
When you first started making music, when did you have record deal aspirations?
I mean, record deal aspirations, yes and no. So like different phases, right? When I started, when we just rapping and the homies in high school, nah, like in DC, no one had a record deal. At the time, Section 8 Mob may have been on, at the time, Nonchalant may have been on. And DC had influence, like early hip hop, you heard the go-go influence. There's stuff that came out of DC, but in terms of like in my real life, it wasn't like anyone famous was on the block that I grew up on. It wasn't like anyone I was around was backspinning on cardboard. A couple people I knew DJ, but not like Scratch Master Pickles DJ, but like played music with turntables, and only like one person. And so I knew very few people that rap, let alone had any connections to any record labels. So no, but within 2 to 3 years of starting hip hop, I moved to Atlanta, and in college there were immediately people there who either were already tied into music stuff, had done it before getting down there, or were tapped in Atlanta. And it was during that time period where a lot of people got signed from like 96 to 2000.
Yeah.
You know, and so my roommate ended up producing for Outkast, and he was in a beat collective called Beat Bullies with Nasilo, and they produced Kryptonite and a bunch of other stuff. But I was never faced with like, am I gonna get signed? But I was in a studio where there were people there that were signed or doing certain stuff, and they like, yo, you and your homie keep doing weird music that we can't do nothing with. When are y'all gonna make stuff we can actually work with? And I'm looking at him like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I like Company Flow. I like that. They like, we like that too, but like, you can't. You rapped about transmography. What are you talking about? You be at a strip club, right? And I'm like, yeah, my homegirl worked there. And he's like, why don't you rap about the strip club? And it's like, because that's not interesting to me.
Yeah.
And like, there were just certain things where once I saw what being signed meant, it was disrespect to the people that go that route. They have a different orientation in life. And so once I saw, honestly, one of the formative moments was I met Company Flow in Marcos Pita in like 97 or 98. They were doing a Lyricist Lounge tour.
Nice.
And LP was just hanging out in the Pita shop. DJ Drama worked at the Pita shop. He used to have dreads, and he DJed for Bahamadia back in the day, all this other stuff. But yeah, and so we just go pop through. I used to like rap for Pitas from DJ Drama. He's on our first mixtape. Anyway, and so I was around some stuff where it was like, oh, I see how it works. I'm not here for that. And I saw a Company Flow, and I saw the Lyricist Lounge show in Talib Kweli, Most Def Rock, then Prez Rock. And that night, I had freestyled, and High Tech came up to me afterwards backstage and was like, when you gonna go to New York? And I'm sitting there like, bro, I'm in school down here. I don't even know what y'all talking about. But that's dope. I like what y'all did tonight. But this is 97, 98. Like, Ruckus was out, like, but it wasn't like But I saw you can do whatever you want and tour. And at that point, the indie thing started being like, that's more likely.
Yeah, okay.
And like more like what I could do. And as I did more industry related stuff up till I was like probably 27, 28, it was like, oh, no. The closer it got to seeing how things worked, it was like, oh, no.
Got you.
Now, what about you? Same question.
Yes.
I definitely had record deal aspirations because I didn't even know indie existed. Like, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know indie existed until I met Watusi or Dave the Hip Hop Junkie. Like, I promise you, I didn't even know. Like, to me, I was trying to get signed to either get a sign with Killer Army or Raucus or Rockefeller Records. It was one of those three. Because I wanted to be in Killer Army, and I wanted to be on Raucus Records, and I wanted to be on Rockefeller Records. Rockefeller Records because they was just doing all the stuff that I thought, oh, that looks cool, that looks cool, that looks cool. Killer Army, I was like, these are my favorite rappers. Like, I like these rappers. Raucus also, Black Star, these are my favorite rappers. Like, I'm like, okay. So it's like, I liked Raucus and Killer Army and Wu-Tang and all, because these are my favorite rappers. Like, I like what they do. You feel me? Rockefeller because I like what they do lyrically. Rockefeller, I like what they're doing like on a TV level. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I need to merge these. 21, 22, I'm like, you can't merge those. You can't merge those. You can't, no one wants to hear. If you're in the Rockefeller world, they're not trying to hear Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying? If you're in the Wu-Tang world, they're not really trying to hear the Rockefeller stuff. Not to quote, but Jay-Z walked up to Alchemist and said in the club and said, when you gonna stop giving all those beats away to those whack rappers? When you gonna stop giving those dope beats away to those whack rappers? And I was like, that's you know what I'm saying? But that's what it was. In 2002, I met Watusi, or Dave the Hip Hop Junkie, on U Street, and I was just walking around freestyling, and he walked up to me, and he was like, yeah, these are my CDs. I thought he was a bootlegger. When he's like, CDs, I'm like, oh, he's selling other people's CDs, we talking. He's like, no, this is my music. I'm like, what do you mean? This is my music. Like, what do you mean it's your music? Like, you're bootlegging? Like, no. This is me. This is my rap songs. I'm like how did that whole process? like you have your own CDs? Like, he's like, yeah, and I sell them. I'm like, you sell them? And that was like an eye-opening moment for me. It's like, oh, you don't need a record deal to sell CDs. You don't need a record deal to sell music. That had never occurred to me. Cause I was from middle America from that time. I was bouncing back and forth to DC and whatnot. And the thing is, the reason I had record deal aspirations is because of Rap City. But I would see people like nonchalant. You know what I'm saying? Did we speak about this last time? I don't know if we spoke about it, cause like I got like my top 5 DC artists are based off impact. You feel me? So it's like people that made me know, oh, this is possible, right? Like I saw Black Indian on Rap City, saw Nonchalant on Rap City, I saw Section 8 Mob on Rap City, I saw Question Mark Asylum, even though they're from Maryland, I saw them on Rap City, and there was someone else, but I was just like, oh, these people are from a place that I frequent consistently. Oh, so you don't have to be from New York or California to have a record deal. You don't need to be from Louisiana because Master P was doing his thing at that time. You feel me? You don't need to be from the South, you know what I'm saying, to be part of that. Oh, you can just do your own thing. And I didn't even know that because the Master P story was so... I wish his story was told before the fame that I knew.
That's funny.
Because he was selling stuff out his trunk. And I didn't know, like stuff like that. I found that out way later.
Well, It's funny now that you have me thinking about it. I jumped some steps. So there was definitely a time period where we were going up in label offices.
Gotcha.
And I'm also thinking though, time wise, you're a little bit younger than me. That I don't know how early on you expected to pick up on it. So that like when I was rapping in let's say like 97, 98, there was no Pro Tools in the crib. There was no laptop recording. You had to go to other people's studios. So there was always gatekeeping.
Yeah.
And it would cost money. So
Yeah.
most of the people I was around just rapped amongst each other. And so there was no like thought of getting signed until you get into the studio because you need a demo.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And so by the time we did a demo towards 2000, 2001, it was some of my friends were getting into circles. Some of the DJs we knew, again, were like getting on. We need a demo, but also if we're going to spend this studio money, why don't we print up CDs? But by then I'd already been exposed to Company Flow. And when I asked, actually in person, I asked the LP, I was like, yo, I read in the source, y'all sold 60, 80,000 copies. How y'all do that independently? And he was like, yo, it costs this amount of money to da-da-da-da. You get your records pressed and you look in the advertisement sections instead of doing buy ads in every magazine. They cost this amount of money. You may not put out a music video. You may not whatever else. But there are ways where you only need to sell 40,000 copies and you're going to make more money than if you were on a label making whatever. And so I'm like, yo, there's a group of people from New York performing in Atlanta. The music's dope. They telling me him and Just each made enough money to start their own labels from it. That had already happened by 2001. So, or right around that time. So when we printed up our CD, that was in mind. Master B had already come out, and I lived in Atlanta, so all that indie kind of influence had already kind of hit. Like, people were talking about his hustle and the Out of the Trunk, and we went to car shows. We went down to Daytona. We were out during NBA All-Star Weekend, running up on people like, yo, put my CD in your car, play it. I mean, ridiculous stuff, trying to get them to buy our stuff. But also, it was Atlanta, and the backpack rap was New York.
Yeah.
And so again, getting signed or doing anything, I didn't learn about rhyme sayers till 2002 or 3 when I lived in New York.
Me too.
I was still in school. So there was also while we were running up in offices, 2001, 2002, I knew I was in school. I knew like the prospect of I could do whatever it takes to get signed wasn't real for me. I'm a medievalist, but I want to rap as much as possible. So my homie knows somebody, I'm in the office, I'm like, yo, take my stuff. But when they like, yo, where's your manager? What manager? Bro, what the fuck these people talking about? Manager? I'm in school, you know? And so I wasn't being real. Like at a certain point, I had to realize, even when I was running up in offices and I worked for the source and would try to talk to people, or when I met a lot of rappers. Actually, I was thinking to myself, it's been so lucky how many artists I've met. I've met Snoop, I've met Jay-Z, I met Puffy, I met all these people. But when I did, I never was like, I need to do whatever it takes to make sure we hang out again.
Okay.
It wasn't real. I like rapping with you. I like rapping with Ty. I like rapping with the numerous other people that when we actually hung out, I can handle the vibe. When I was in the Interscope building or their events, it didn't feel good. When I went to certain parties, it was lit. Yo, Rick Ross there. Yo, I'm backstage. Yo, let me get a picture of Slick Rick. And then I realized, like, are there any women here? And not to hit on, like, what's happening that this social environment invites no women, you know? There are all these complexities to me understanding, like, getting signed means a certain type of life that I don't see many people able to manage. And it looks like going indie, you can love making music forever.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my concern, you know?
And so, love to make music forever. That's often why a rapper's mixtape is better than his album. It's true, because a rapper could do the mixtape. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But the album, you gotta adhere to certain guidelines. Label one, oh, can you make this like that, and da 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 da. So it's often that's what that is. Okay.
One more thing. I know I'm long-winded.
What?
I saw a contract when I was in grad school, and in it said the label would own the artist's name, image, and likeness
Yeah.
in exclusivity, universality, and perpetuity.
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't understand what those words meant in context, so I asked somebody, asked the homie, he's a lawyer. And it was like, okay, exclusivity. Name, image, likeness. Your actual name. So like if I rap by the name Chris Carr, I'd be signing away the ability to use that to the label, and they own it in exclusivity. No one else but them can decide what to do with it.
Yep.
Okay. In all places. Like, wait. Universality? In all places, all territories, all countries?
Universality.
Universality.
Another planet.
In perpetuity.
Forever.
Ever. Now, legally, you can't even own people's stuff forever like that. But they try to get you to sign it. Forever. And when I talk to people, they looking at me like, what's the problem? And I'm like, this is crazy, bro. Like, my mom's a lawyer. You don't ever sign anything that does all this.
Yeah.
Not at once.
Yeah.
Unless it's you get to retire. Like, is this the retirement deal? Like, with this, you signing, we make sure you have health care the rest of your life.
Okay.
But that's not what's happening.
No.
And so that also really hit me where it's like, I'm paranoid, man. This is gonna be rude, but I can't be out here looking like a jigaboo, okay? And there's a lot of clown stuff going
like
on
shucking
out
and
here.
jiving.
Yeah, yo, I've seen Bamboozle. Like,
okay.
I get how artists end up there.
Yeah.
So I gotta, if you're the type of person that after they have 2 drinks has to do 14 lines of cocaine, and you're not trying to do cocaine, you might just have to not drink. And so for me, it's certain things lead to other things, and so I'd rather like let the people do that. I'm trying to,
My man said, I'm not trying to sambo.
Not at all.
I'm not trying to jigaboo. I'm not trying to dance. So that's okay. So when did you when did Project Lumens form? Project Lumens is a group that he's still a part of, currently a part of. It's not defunct.
Yeah, it never ends. It's just we don't make music right now.
And is that who you were running up in office was with? Like,
yeah, me and Aaron. Yeah.
You and Aaron? Put Aaron, which is an MC, now a really dope actor now.
Yeah.
Was he like your roommate?
Yeah,
we were roommates. You were talking about?
Yeah, we were roommates in Brooklyn from like 2001, end of 2001, beginning of 2002 through 2003. And then when I moved back to Brooklyn in 2008, he had an apartment with a stage in it. So like when we did parties,
that's right.
Yeah, you did shows.
Those are some of my fondest memories. This man and those people put on the best house parties I've been in, just the best parties I've ever been in my whole entire life. The first one, I was like, oh, this is amazing. He said, we're going to go back. Yeah, we're doing another one. I said, there's no way. There's no way it can be better than the first one. Boy, it was better than the first one. It was amazing. Some of the fondest memories. It was like a movie moment for me, bro. Movie moment. Movie. Crash Your Mansions.
Yep.
It's called Crash Your Mansions. Tell me about Crash Your Mansions.
I don't remember why we were like trying to do house parties, but like I think something hit back around 2000.
Which is kind of interesting because there's now a house party circuit in DC now. There's like a house venue circuit in DC.
Oh, I'm about to be on that.
Man.
Yo,
there's a house venue circuit in DC.
I don't know what really got us, but it was like, yo, why don't we do shows in people's houses and just call them Crash Your Mansions? And Laura, who used to throw the battles,
Butterfly, yeah.
She hosted one of them.
Yeah. She got me a show in Minneapolis, in Minnesota when I went on tour with Ty.
Yeah, a couple other people hosted them, and then it was like, yo, Aaron's down to host one in New York. I don't know why, but I think I had a job at the time, so I was like, yo, I'm finally making money or something like that.
Okay.
I need to spend it on things that actually make sense. Yeah. Let's rent a coach bus and bring people from DC up to New York.
Jeez.
And Aaron and them were like, let's throw a party to welcome them. And so the first one was like, in the crib, it was lit. Second one I think was like a New Year's, and that was like a 3-floor party or something, banana cakes.
So crazy.
And yeah, people, that was wild. So I think it just came out of the idea of we have been working with venues, and I have worked with some dope venues. I've worked with some dope venue owners. I've worked with people who are amazing sound people, and they care and they put their heart and passion into their space. And there are a lot that do not care. Their job is to sell alcohol, and they like partying, and they like the things that come with being club owners and bar owners. And we were kind of over that dynamic, and wanted the like intimacy, not in a sexual way, but like the intimacy of like it's the homie's crib.
Yeah.
Like it's not just someone wandered in off the street and they need to get a drink and they watching TV while you're trying to rap. It's anyone here came for the thing. Like everyone knows somebody, but we don't all know each other. And so you get the mix of the world.
Yeah.
Of like because usually we do mashup shows, so it wasn't just hip hop or it wasn't just rock or it'd be like 3 acts. And so sometimes it would be like Math Panda, Flex, me, and Ty, and then Caverns, and they were instrumental punk band.
Man, nice.
Or, you know, it could be a number of different iterations. But yeah, it was crash your mansion, throw the show in the crib, and we've been doing that since.
I mean,
and it was it's interesting because it's very, there was nothing like that before, but it's like when you go out, it's crazy when you go out to the burbs. Once again, like these are just things that you go out to the burbs and you see like kids performing in their parents' garages.
Yeah.
And I would just be like, wait, y'all do shows here? Like I've rapped the
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, your parents are letting you rap here? Like, yeah, like they were doing rock shows, but they let me rap though, you know? So it's just like, the fact that it's almost like, you know what Porch Fest is?
Yeah.
So Porch Fest has the same thing in
worked
terms
for it.
of like, yeah? Me too, man.
Yeah, I saw you on there.
Yeah. Which one? 30th? May 30th? Alright, I think there's one May 2nd and one May 30th.
30th.
I'm on the 30th too. So it's like the fact that any place can be a venue, right? Like you don't need to be beholden by these four corners, these four walls that have an establishment name to it. You know, it's just like where you got a crib, cool. You got a porch, cool. You got a basement, cool. You got a practice spot, cool. Like these can be venues, you know, and we can do what we want to do in these moments. And it's a real like DC was my introduction to the DIY thing, because I just didn't even know that type of stuff existed. And I come to DC and it's just like DIY everything. Like everybody's DIY. I'm like, word, you're doing this yourself, which led me to me putting on my own shows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm putting on my own shows, not even performing at them. I'm just booking my friends. And, you know, just the idea, like even the fact that for everything that I do, anything that I have done outside of rapping was motivated by, oh, I can help the homies, right? So my homies wasn't getting booked. So like the DIY approach was like, oh, well, let me just book some shows and let my homies rock. I can host it, right? When I started doing blogs, I was getting pressed, but my homies wasn't getting pressed. Oh, let me just write about my homies, right? When I started doing photography, like I like photography, but I'm like, oh, I can do photo shoots for the homies. You know what I'm saying? Like they free photo shoot for the homies. So in my brain, like the DIY thing in DC like changed me in a way that I'm like, oh, I can operate in a way that I don't really need to beg for permission. Because it was me begging for permission turned to DIY. Right? I was like asking promoters, yo bro, put me on your show, put me on your show. And then I was just like, well, what's the difference between them and me? What's the difference? I was just like, they don't own the building. They don't own the building. Why am I begging these people? And I was young and brash at that time, right? My motto was, a grown man shouldn't have to beg another grown man for nothing. So why am I begging another grown man to do what I love to do? And I was just like, he asked somebody, he don't pay no bills there. Who did he talk to? Then I just found out who they spoke to. And I found that guy, I found that woman. And then I started booking my own shows. But it's just like, begging for permission enough and seeing the shenanigans and seeing that you're part of the jokes, you're getting caught up in that, you're just being like, you know what? I need to figure something out for myself. And DC led me to that.
Yo, I'm so hyped to hear that, because I left DC in '96 and was gone for like 5 or 6 years, came back, and the indie scene was already kicking up. And so I didn't get to see that moment of it. Like, my kind of introduction to indie was twofold. Like, I had one foot in and one foot in kind of like industry world to a certain extent. So one of the parties we did in Atlanta, like the only one where we rented a club and like really did an event, was after doing house parties for years. But the house parties were never live music. It was always just DJs and maybe someone might freestyle, but it wasn't like performances with rappers.
Gotcha.
Rarely. It would just usually be DJs and we'd rock out and like people would party and drink and whatever else. And then we did a joint at a club and we lost money and they made us buy champagne the night of. Like we had already put the money up and then day of they're like, yo, also you got to get a case of champagne. And it's like, that's extra, I don't know how many hundreds of dollars. And so we're trying to resell the bottles in the club. But again, like, it was either drama or Sense was DJing. So, I mean, all these things were like happening. But that was one type of fun. I also liked then when we ended up at some house party in East Atlanta and there was a mic and people were rapping in the backyard. And you couldn't replicate that anywhere.
Nice.
And so I like, in looking at like DC, I don't know what's happening now, but I hope there's still, what you're talking about is still going on, where people are basically limitations force them into activity. Like I feel like there are advantages in each city. So like in Atlanta, there was a certain amount of openness where it wasn't a super dense city. And so you could do stuff at someone's house, or people would have like backyards or property where you could rock out and barbecue and no one cared. No one would shut it down. It would, if we do a party like that in this neighborhood, the police would show up. You know? But there were benefits of DC, like U Street and Adams Morgan and the kind of Velvet Lounge and the smaller venues that would let rappers and rock people do stuff, and then the house parties. And in New York, you had the lofts where the cops would show up and not care. The number of times I had cops show up to a party I've thrown, an illegal party theoretically, allegedly, where I step outside the door. Also, to anyone that throws parties without you step out the door and close it behind you. And you tell the police, they're like, yes, what's the problem? And they're like, it's really loud. And you're like, oh, so if I turn it down, we're good? And they usually say, yeah. If they're like, yo, y'all can't do this, it's like, what, do what? And you can't do that in DC. Like, you try to throw a party in your apartment, it's a rap.
Yeah.
And so I think your limitations push you. And in each scenario, I kept hitting a wall of, we can't do what we want. And it's in a certain way childish. It's a certain way like entitled, to where I'm like, yo, when we first started going to shows, it was mythical. Like, that's the club owner. That's the club promoter. That's the booker. That's the band. That's the door person. And you running around doing whatever, like thinking it's all, and then you realize, wait, that's not the person that owns this building. That's not the owner of this place. They rent this space and they call it a name. They're actually not even the main investor in this business. There are 4 people that run this bar and restaurant. They hire another person who doesn't want to do their job, so they get a fake booker who then gets different promoters for different weeks so no one has any power. And so what you can do is go right to the owner. And it's going to be hard because the owner's like, I don't like dealing with y'all. There's a reason I have a person with a fake job that has another person with a fake job, so I don't have to talk to you. But necessity is cut these other people out, put your money up, and make the deal with the owner. And then you can book your friends. You can invite your homies or journalists, make sure the light's right for the photos. And so I never would have wanted to be a promoter or booker or anything, run a venue. But after a while, it's like, we do it better. And not like me personally. When I say we, it's like the group of people I've met in so many artistic backgrounds, whether they were burlesque performers, ran a spot like the woman that started Glasslands, which is a venue in New York, whether it was dancer. There were so many people I met that were like, oh, let me show you how to freak it. Like, this is how in our field we do it DIY. This is how we find the venues. This is how we do the promotion. Here's how we do the marketing. But from so many different art forms in New York, it's actually like wild.
Well, there we go. DIY Journeys, Flex Mathews and Parnov the Krashnikov. What'd you say your name again?
It's very simple. It's easy. Stonehenge Parnashnikovsky, the mountain of Parnassus. It's an old Greek myth, or the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. You mix the Parnassus with the hashish. Allegedly, my friend came across back in 2008. So Parnashnikovsky, because you know it's takeover time.
Let's do some more rhyming. Yo, what's up with Sentinel? Where he at?
Sinton is traveling the world. He might be in Thailand now or Vietnam. and he's chilling. He lived in Japan for a little while.
Yeah.
He had a serious back injury while he was in Japan, so he stayed there for like 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Learned how to play the wind flute, cut the bamboo or cut the tree down, hollowed it, made it his own while he was studying with his Zen master.
Okay.
Yeah, people are good. But essentially, I spoke to him a little while ago.
Remember there was a house party and it got shut down and Sinton was the last person out the house party?
I have a feeling there's more to this story. Oh, hold on. Was this when he showed up? He was on my porch and the cop showed up?
I forgot which one. No, this was like, I don't know that story. What story? No, this was like Laura was doing a house party and it got shut down.
The police definitely showed up like 4 or 5 times. And they was like, yeah, you gotta shut it down. And it was like, where was that? You know, and Sinton was the last one out the house. And he was bugging that night.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
He was bugging that night. And Chris was like, yeah, that's the best person. That's the last person you want to be the last person out the party.
Nah, you don't have him talk to the cops.
Yeah, he was bugging that night.
No.
Let's see what's up with these beats, though.
Yeah, you can turn it up.
Oh, that's the wrong button. Yeah. Let me take this time to spark some verbs. Let me take these time to say hello. Flex Mathews be the kid that's mellow like Carmelo Washington. I don't even know if that's his name. Used to be your ball player, I don't know, but sometimes those things are lame. No time for the games. I be moving through the dust like a bull rush. Don't know if you had enough. Got my hand on my gut. Don't want my bowels to erupt if I eat something that is out of touch with the nature. No need to hate you, but Flex Mathews be coming off the brain and not the paper. Yes, I'm coming through the loop. Disappear, put the ball in the hoop. Yeah, for sure, I got the juice. My neck is never in the noose or in the knot like Windsor. Hello, it's nice to meet ya. Flex Mathews be the dude with the brown skin features. Meteorite like Robert Townsend. I might take over the town and win. Flex Mathews, take a breath, exhale like Microsoft. Chill. Who's the ill? Pass it to my man Chris so he can tell you what to do.
Lopside, upside down, money underneath the table. Rappers wrote a fable. While I try to bring the truth that was written, was it Cain versus Abel? The turntable has them straddled, addled. Every time the baby might have rattled and babbled. When they battled, traveled through the time, the line. While they scrabbled, scribbled in the line. The time is designed to frazzle, plus the frizzle. And the mind finds the 10 signs, enzymes and substrate. Our rappers left in the basement with they wrapped up with its duct tape. No, I'm kidding. No, it's not what you heard. I'm a citizen using these words. What occurred is all blurred. 1/3 might be stirred. Awaken, it's blurred. Third eye blinded. Find it with maneuvers like time ticks. Heimlich. I'm sick. You might miss. Night shifts.
Preciseness. Watch the mic twist like the globe or the chateau with a fat flow. Flex Mathews at the chateau like hello. You wanna come close to me? I think you should chill. I'm doing all day and I'm doing for real. No need to pay bills. I'm happy to be unhoused just for a couple of moments. Then I gotta peel out and go back to my grandma's house and just chill for a couple of moments, no doubt. Commercials killing the vibe, no doubt. Bump, 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 bump. I don't think I've ever chilled down here. In this room particularly.
Probably wasn't set up before. This is where Kid's room was.
Oh, gotcha. Dark matter. Yeah. 1, 2. Could there be a way I move through the world, could it be the way I move through the wind? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to go for the win. Gotta take you on the chin. Life might not be what you wanted, but you take it how you got it. Shift like play tectonics. Take a lesson, take a slick way to take a measure for the things that are offered. Yeah, it gets awkward, and yeah, I got more words. I gotta stop moving backwards or only forwards. Of course, it's absurd to stay stuck in a moment, so just keep moving like you own it. You might have the receipt, keep it in your pocket in case the police try to creep and say you don't belong here. I say, sorry officer, I belong right here. This is my year. No need to move light years. That have any fears never disappear. I'm just letting you know I'm blessed to be alive. This is my side. Check how I strive, provide. I'm blessed to be alive, and the thoughts coming out of my mind might shine brighter than you ever expected. I never neglected the art that I make. I never neglect the relationships that I have. I just let you know that I feel great, even if I'm on a penthouse on Georgia Ave. Never had a lot of cash, but I got a lot of laughs. Never had a lot of friends, but I got a lot of friends. And I got a lot of mistakes, but I got a lot of victories. No time for the misery. I eat a lot of cake, weight, trying to gain more weight with the urge and the things that I eat. But I want to eat things that are healthy and less sweet, less toxic and more unique. Today I ate lion's mane mushroom for the first time. It was kind of awkward, but I might do it a second time. Might look up a couple recipes and I might recline. Change the way that I dine. Change the way that I might fuel my mind with the food that I find. But that's enough. Don't want to take up too much rhyme time.
Bang, bang. Okay.
Burn hash splash. Okay. Situation serious. Serious satellites, cirrus, clouds, cumulus, crowds, humorous, proud to this humorous and femur. Might remind you of a Jeep or a Beamer. Might remind you of the primate that's a lemur. Might remind you that he's unseen cause he's a dreamer. ACDC. Don't try to play me ABAC. All cops, good, bad, all working people equal. Now get the sign. Plus with the additives after this. Get your abacus. Couldn't handle calculus or the mathematics. Crash addict. They say they crash out. I'm from the posse that mashed out. That's what that's about. I rap about dirty shit like ass to mouth. Why do it? Flow fluid with druids. Who's this? Clueless like blondes, but he's cool like the Fonz. Up north in the Bronx with an aunt trying to taunt your aunt.
Nice.
Truck, that's Tonka truck. Hit it, get it, got it. Lose him in the logic. No need to shoot it. His homie never shot it. He's hard like cold deposits and fossils. Left in mind, beguiled and boggled, baffled. Try to toggle while he's running up a lasso to wrestle. While he's nestled with a pencil, a thistle. Broke it down to the bone, the marrow, and the gristle. Wishful thinking. Shots with pistols at Lincoln. Now the mind slips, time is back to pass it.
Alright, so I got a question for you. Turn it down. And if these start turning into interviews, it's just because I like the way your mind works.
I appreciate it.
I really like the way your mind works. Why do you think black pain is so marketable?
Bruh, how, what, and all 47 semesters of a university kind of question is that?
I'm serious, like, why do you think black pain is so marketable? In my brain, I'm thinking, like,
yeah, what do you think? Tell me what you're thinking.
Because I think, like, that's where, like, they like us in that position. They like us in that role, right? The mindset of, like, because here's the deal, right? Black people, we free here, right? but that was never part of the plan. You feel me? So the idea of us struggling and suffering and persevering, right? It's almost like the endurance of the slave has never, the story of the endurance of the slave, the endurance of the black person coming out of something so atrocious. It's almost as if that narrative only takes on another face. Meaning like another, it puts on another hat. It doesn't really disappear. You know, it's just like, oh, you made it out of slavery and you persevered, okay. You made it through Jim Crow, you persevered, okay. You made it through segregation, okay, you persevered. Or you made it through police brutality, oh, you persevered. Or you made it through the projects, or you persevered. Or you made it through public housing where we'll give you the food stamps, but you can't have the father in the house, or you persevered. So it's just like, we're forever in this thing of persevering, and they love to hear the story. What did Nas say? They love to hear the story again and again. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know why. To me, that's why, but I don't know why that's why.
I mean, I'm not gonna act like I have an answer to this, but there are things I've noticed. One is, has there been a history of dehumanizing black folks so they can be treated in a certain way? I would say yes. Has that tended to come from a Eurocentric perspective? I would say yes. Have black people had the opportunity to control the media they consumed or distributed? Historically, no. It was illegal for black folks to learn how to read or write. And there are examples, obviously, of Frederick Douglass, who had a newspaper. So also you got, this is why what I'm going to say is paradoxical and makes no sense. Because one perspective is, black folks have been the target of oppression, and you have to identify the different points, such as ownership of media, or who gets to write the history books and say who is what, and gets to influence the idea of self. So what do black people notice about themselves? What have we been taught is germane or regular for us? When we think about the black experience, is black joy often what other people identify in us? And have we been the ones to identify what should be important to us? Part of the pro-black Pan-African movement was to say, stop censoring our understanding of self as a reaction to white folks or based on what they wrote about us. Go look at the world of what black people have been writing about themselves. Go look at the world of what Africans have been saying about themselves for 1,000 years and develop understanding of self from that perspective. But that's also, again, in reaction, like, because of colonialism. But what that means is most people aren't going to go do that. And most people have the American experience of, there was Africans running around in the jungles. We civilized them. Part of that was through slavery. Horrible, but they got the benefit of the civilization and they're not fitting in right. Whether it's their own genetic issues, whether it's the trauma we gave them through slavery, whether it's the trauma they now are perpetuating on themselves. But we know how to tell that story. We know how to celebrate that story. Do we know how to celebrate black joy? Do we know how to celebrate black surrealism? Do we know how to celebrate black abstractionism? And then other people would say, well, the other side is because black folks have had so much power throughout history, any way to try to denigrate us would be important, and the oppressor would want to see any image because they would know it's fake. Like, part of the attraction to all the like turbulence and so like black trauma porn in a certain way of like the drug dealer stories, the mother who's being abused, is if they do the knowledge on who we are, it's too scary, because then it's like, actually the black father is the most involved parent in America. Actually, black folks, actually, persistently, we have And so you need that fantasy, or the truth shatters your own paradigm. And have black folks taken on the paradigm of the oppressor? Like, are we dealing with Stockholm Syndrome? Are we dealing with, we don't know we in a tank of water that is murky, and we think like this is all normative? Are there black folks who really are unaware of black history outside of a white person telling them what it is? And so, if not, it would make sense you'll like the same media that white society created. And if that white media enjoys stories of, you know, I believe it easier. You look like a drug dealer, not a doctor. I don't know why I came to that conclusion. When you look at the actors that get to play what roles, It's like the most dirtbag you can tell in real life they on drugs gets to play a cop or gets to play a PhD physician or gets to play or whatever because folks believe white folks can do anything.
Yeah.
And so there's also a corollary of not just do we enjoy the negativity of black pain or da-da-da, that's in contrast to other entertainments. Like it rests with, you need a Disney and Hallmark, but you also need
a Baby Boy.
Keep going with it. I mean, you can list movie after movie after movie, you know?
Yeah.
How many slave movies? It's 26. How many? There's 400 years of African American history, theoretically, maybe even longer, if we came before Columbus. We got 3 time periods they talk about. The slave time period, civil rights time period, and the modern we in the streets, in the hood. Out of 400 years.
Trauma.
So I don't, you know.
Who's,
what's it, the rapper Vince Staples?
Yeah.
He said, black business is trauma. Black trauma is business. He was like, you can name, we all can name a movie. Like when I said Baby Boy, you said name another. You know what I'm saying? Boys in the Hood. You know what I'm saying? Juice. Like the list goes on and on and on about, you know, these stories, right? Which is interesting, which is why, and I know his name is controversial.
Who's this?
You already, but when you think about these things, right? Trauma. When you think about the Cosby Show, right? You think about this is the first image of a full black family, nobody on drugs, both parents highly educated, all kids going to college outside of the other ones, like the older ones, right? Like Denise and Vanessa and Theo, right? They're all going to college. They all went to Spelman, right? This narrative was one that was not a thing. Because even if you look at it, right? Like even the Jeffersons, right? The Jeffersons, they were good people, but that was not a black family. That was a black couple. You feel me? When you think of what's happening, right? What's happening is 2 kids, a mother, but no father, right? You think of Good Times. Whole family unit is there, but bro, they in the project. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Constables live in a brownstone. And for people who don't know what a brownstone is, it is a very expensive piece of real estate. Whether you're renting it or whether you own it. So it's like this image changed a lot, you know, when you look at that thing. Because other than that, you really just on some like, the black business is trauma. You know, like they milk that, you know, and they're milking that and they're milking that. It's not as bad as it once was, but there's so much out there to fill your diet with, if that's what consumers want to see.
I mean, I don't think there's some unified plan. I think the majority culture fights within itself and is always cannibalizing. I think energy, like electricity and water, follow the path of least resistance. And so if there's already a channel or a groove, more water will probably find its way and you end up with a Grand Canyon type of thing. And so there's like presets so that they've done these surveys where they show people random pictures of different folks and say, what feeling do you get from this? And unironically, there are direct correlations between how different groups of people have been presented socially. And like, media works. There would not be millions and hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars being spent on marketing and advertising if it had no effect. I'm not saying everyone's brainwashed like that, but if you think about the words you use, you are directly influenced by the media. Like, you're not just using the words your parents said, your friends say, and the people around you. You are quoting words you see on the internet, you see on TV, you listen to in music, you're using phrases and stuff that have no cultural context at all to you. And that's the subtlety of how media influences thought, because it's influencing the words. And so it's not just black folks. Like, when you think of how far, like, you know, to the extreme horror movies go within white culture and the grotesqueness and the hyper violence.
Oh.
What is that teaching their young people? You know, and I'm not one of those people that says video games lead to mass shootings. I will say, what do you do when you add up a country that's obsessed with violence in the sense of the quote-unquote Puritans, the early people that came here, fought, were leaving fighting in Europe, fought with the natives here, brought Africans over, fought about that, fought with each other, fought with the different countries, and then had a revolution, violent revolution, then had a civil war. And so America itself is obsessed with violence. Then you have hyper-violence on TV, you have hyper-violence in actual culture. What do you think happened? You know, and so I don't want to act like it's just black folks. I never want to act like there's something special about the negativity within black culture.
That's a fact.
But I do think there are grooves that were preset, so it's easy for people to fall into it. It's easy for people to believe certain stories and more difficult than others. And I think that's why I know people hate the idea of it, but like DEI or all that other shit is just like conflict resolution. Like except on a social level. So like if you and I have beef and we have to still work on a ship together, we're gonna be in high pressure scenarios where like we might make mistakes, but we have to figure out how to work together.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, folks are like, we need conflict resolution. We need to figure out if we're stuck on a ship for 6 months, we will have conflict.
Yeah.
We can't act like it's not gonna happen. It has happened. How do we get back to so we both work as hard as we can for each other? And socially, it hasn't happened where we all sat down and we're like, yo, here's what's real. As a man, I've exhibited history of patriarchy. And then there's a white woman there where like, as a woman, I've been the subject of it. But as a white person, I've exhibited hegemony and da-da-da. And then people are like, well, this is confusing. So I have power and I don't have power and I offend people and I'm offended. And yes. And actually talk through all that shit so that we can have a resolution of historically what's happened. Like, the kind of momentum of, you know, like where we assume, where like if I tell a person, imagine you're in a doctor's office and you walk in, and as soon as you walk in, there's a person already sitting there that is waiting to see the doctor. The nurse is coming in out of the office, and there's an administrative assistant there. Coming out of the back, there's a janitor who's moving the trash can. You walk into the office, see the doctor, and they tell you, put on your robe, and then they'll be back. When you were imagining that scenario, what did the different people look like? And when you start asking people to be honest about that, it's very interesting who puts what type of person where.
Interesting.
Was the doctor a woman? Was the doctor an amputee? Was the doctor overweight?
I thought of a black woman, but she was not American.
See,
she was African.
And it may just be from experience. It may be you just went to the doctor. But and so we do that without trying. We put images to words in our minds. And so I think that's also, is it easy for people to imagine like, yo, he's in the hood ducking. They got 47 shell cows. They got Averexes with the hoodie so they can laser scope. You know, like what?
Yo, we should wrap it up on that, man. Yo, man, I love your mind, bro. So like, I be asking you wild questions because I love your mind and I love the energy and I just love the answers you come up with.
No, I appreciate the question. I love being able to talk about hip hop. It has been so long. I'm telling y'all here, hip hop has opened me as a human. I know people say if I didn't do hip hop, I'd be robbing. I wouldn't be robbing people. I'd probably be miserable at some job not being myself. And so I'm so happy through hip hop we have these conversations. I meet homies like this. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all stay cool. We'll be back next Thursday. Stay cool. God bless. Peace.